Damn, it finally worked. So I'm gonna have to, I guess, and um, obviously nobody's watching right now. Let's see here. Well, let's see if this asshole will join. Hey Ricardo, I'm doing a live video on YouTube about join. Um, what today? Whether it's guys from WWE, WCW, NWA, um, TNA, or AEW, uh, even ECW. Some of the guys in ECW were actually really good technical wrestlers. There was Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit. They all went through there. They're actually technical wrestlers. Um, get Daniel to pop in here. William, maybe Trejo. Come on, you fuckers. Where you at? I got one person watching. Who's watching? Um, I'd like to get some feedback. That's why I'm trying to get some people invited to this video. Uh, I don't really have any kind of format. My hair's all kind of weird looking. I have a format laid out. I don't have anything listed down here in front of me. I just want to shoot from the hip and talk about technical wrestling. So we've got Kurt Angle, we've got Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Ric Flair, Dean Malenko. Um, although Eddie Guerrero wasn't, I mean, he was an aerial wrestler, but he had a lot of great technical abilities. A lot of people don't see Shawn Michaels technical wrestler, but he does have some technical ability. You can see it in some of his matches. Dolph Ziggler, technical wrestler. He's an amateur wrestler, if you don't know that. Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner were amateur wrestlers, or they entered the business. Both of them played. Both of them wrestled for Michigan. Um, anybody out there? Anybody coming back in here? Hello. Just trying to think of some more technical wrestlers. Um, if when people start actually putting comments down here on this video, if anybody actually puts comments down on the video, who are your top 5 favorite technical wrestlers, and who do you think is belongs on the Mount Rushmore of technical wrestlers? Better yet, somebody try and come up with where did technical wrestling originate from? I like that. I like someone to tell me where it originated. There's a lot. I've heard a few people say that wrestling started right here in Oklahoma. I'm not in Bixby, I'm somewhere else in Oklahoma. Um, Cowboy Bill Watts sure put his 2 cents worth in. Uh, I don't really have that great of an opinion of Bill Watts. Thought his vision of WCW when he came into the company um, was downright dreadful. I thought it was just how would Jeff Bloom, what's his name, Jeff Goldblum, when he walks up to the pile of shit in Jurassic Park and he takes off his sunglasses and he goes, "That's one big pile of shit." Well, that's how I feel about anything that Bill Cowboy Bill. Now, I will say that his time spent in Midwest wrestling was much more well time well spent. I enjoy some of the Midwest wrestling matches. I haven't seen very many of them. I need to draw myself into it. It would be better to watch older matches of technical wrestling. They're working on a limb, whether it's the ankle or wrist, it's the arm, whatever kind of the body they're contorting in their submission matches. Um, when you see a guy in a mount position and the guy underneath him, that's like in amateur wrestling. There's a lot going on trying to get your opponent to the ground. Um, you want to be dominant, show dominance, and a lot of these technical wrestlers are really quick on the mat. You see them working the mat. That's mat ability, the groundwork. And I like wrestlers that actually uh, will focus on limbs. You see, as somebody like Ric Flair, um, taking someone's knee. I'm getting ready to demonstrate. He'll walk over to the ring in the ring, and he's got somebody right there down on the mat, and looking up or not. And if I guess if they are face down on the ground, that's the perfect position because all he has to do is pick them up by their foot, drive their knee right down into the mat, and then like constantly doing it over and over. That's great. Um, Great way to focus on um, your your groundwork. You want to take your opponent off his feet. Um, and what better way to do it than to take their legs out from underneath them? If you got somebody that's a big guy and you're a smaller guy and you're trying to get him off his feet, best way to handle him? Well, if he's bigger than you and he's stronger than you and he can pick you up really easy, work on his arms, you know? And great technical wrestling, those guys that are great technical wrestlers, they'll focus on a limb and they'll work it over and over. Love that shit. That's entertaining to me. You get a dirty wrestler, like Ric Flair, and he's going to exploit that limb once he's worked it over for a while, and he's going to take it over there to the ring apron. He's going to put that limb, whether it's your knee or if it's your ankle, he's going to put it right there on that rope, right there by the apron. And he's going to do his little jump. He's going to land on your ankle. I love that shit. And he and Bret Hart, both of them, uh, had the figure four on guys work on those limbs like that. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we reconnect. Oh, that's just awesome. So part of this is going to be sketchy. And I know my microphone is shit. So it will only work for half the second time. Um, there were more people trying to watch this video. We might actually have a conversation going on here, but they are all in La La Land. See, I just plugged YouTube in my video. Hey, I said YouTube. Yeah, boy. I also plugged Oklahoma, didn't I? That's nice. I invited Ricardo. I invited Daniel, Trejo. I don't really have a lot of friends that actually watch wrestling. Doing a live video on technical wrestling on YouTube. Oh, Daniel, I got a message from somebody. Uh, Trejo wants the link. How do I give him the link? How do I do this? How do I invite somebody in here? Oh, that's the button. Got to be the button. And I don't want to do that. Boy. Oh boy. Trying to figure this out in the middle of a freaking video. That's nice. Uh, let's see here. Maybe I should just instead of trying to copy it and then screw myself out of actually having a video here on YouTube. I'm afraid I might actually clear my shit out. Oh, guess what? Now you're on a different website, and it's so weird when you're actually putting in a YouTube link to share it. It comes up as it has the link and shit, but it won't say YouTube. It says youtube.be and then slash everything else. So stupid. Slash. I need to put my glasses back on. Oh god damn, I'm bringing the whole table with me. R8 underscore. Jesus, this is really bad. Doing a video and trying to invite people in while I'm live. Is it a zero? I believe it's a zero. Just like your mom. I hope that was the right freaking link. Oh god, I don't think I did shit. I bet you that. Let's see here. I'll click on the link and see where it takes me. This video is unavailable. Screw you. Video is unavailable. I'm doing it live, motherfucker. I don't understand why that didn't work. It's so weird. Um, I don't know how to do this. Um, I think that's the right link. It says H. It says HTTPS. Why am I saying that? Oh Lord. Send me the link. Well, I'm gonna try to send this link to this guy, and if it don't work, that means it's not gonna. So let's see here. Did it go back to it? 1351. Still working. Okay, so bear with me. You still see me. That I'm sure. I'm gonna send this link to this dude so he can come join. Um, Owen Hart was also a great technical wrestler. I know I mentioned Bret Hart. I didn't. I should have. Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. Maybe I didn't send it to him right the first time. So I sent the link. I hope the guy got it. If not, I don't. I don't obviously know what I'm doing. Um, more people here in a second. Let me know when you get there. It's a bunch of fuckery. It's a bunch of bullshit. I'm just gonna keep doing this. Okay. So what is this? Mute my microphone? Well, I don't want to do that. So, I've talked about Ric Flair. I've talked about Owen Hart, Bret Hart, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's probably the most natural, um, technically sound uh, wrestler that's ever graced the WWE or any, Impact, uh, any wrestling business. Uh, he has more natural ability than anybody, uh, just due to the fact that you know, he's actually won a gold medal in the Olympics for wrestling. And I just got done watching the Brawl for All, Dark Side of the Ring video, and I'm a big, I'm such a big fan of wrestling, and I'm watching Jim Cornette, and he's talking about Russo and what a snide person Vince Russo is, and I agree. I do not like Vince Russo whatsoever. He's done nothing for wrestling. He's been nothing but a huge distraction, and he should have never been in the business. I mean, look what he did with WCW. He just fucked it off. He might have had something to do with Stone Cold's character in WWF. I don't know exact involvement surrounding that. I just remember maybe reading it or hearing it from somebody. It's true. Uh, but Jim Cornette, he's such a big fan of wrestling, and I really like it. He's really passionate about the business, and he stands up for it, and that's what I like about Jim Cornette. Very bold and brash, and he likes to get and tell you what he really thinks about you. I was trying to recreate Roddy uh, promo a couple days ago, and I was really getting into it. And I just, yeah, you think you know me, don't you? You think you know the but you don't. And just when you think you know all the answers, I change all the questions. I was really into it. I love wrestling so much, and technical wrestling is the best kind of wrestling. And the one I was watching on the WWE Network, I got tired of uh, watching wrestling for a while today, and gave myself a break. Then I started watching, um, was it The Bump on the WWE Network? And I was watching Drew McIntyre talk to Heath Slater about his WWE title win. No, I'm going off on a tangent. I just want to bring this up. I thought it was really cool how Heath Slater uh, is just such good friends with Drew McIntyre, and how he congratulated him. And his mom, he was just like, your mom was looking down on you, and she's happy for you winning. So am I. I'm stoked that Drew McIntyre beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I wish the match could have gone on a lot longer. Let's see what's going on here. Nothing. 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 Okay. Well, I tried to send it out. I don't know if it worked or not. Mm, um. So I was watching the WWE Network, and I'm watching the bump, and I thought that was really neat. Getting to watch wasn't just Heath Slater either that was congratulating Drew McIntyre. It was also famous, and that was really cool to see him congratulating him. It's nice to see that these guys actually have good friendships in the business. I think it's important relationships and friendships in the business, especially when you have people like Vince McMahon that are just trying to hold your career down and just make you be like jobber bitch. But look what Sheamus has done with his career, and look what Drew McIntyre's done with his career now. You won't you won't see Heath Slater in that belt. Um, but they were talking about it and I thought that was kind of honestly it wasn't really it wasn't serious, and you know that Drew McIntyre's not um, later a title shot. That's not going to happen. It's not like he can go, well, let's go ahead and give Heath Slater a title shot. Um, the oh yeah, I know what it was. I was going to talk about Bubba Ray Dudley was getting ready to come on, and Bubba Ray Dudley has this thing against technical wrestling. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what his problem is, but he just thinks that it's boring. Bubba Ray Dudley, technical wrestling is wrestling. It's not boring. You're fucking boring. Now, a lot of people love the Attitude Era. I love the Attitude Era. But when people come out on Twitter, whether it's politics or running somebody down that you liked in the business, or they make an allegiance outside of the business with somebody you don't really like or care for, it just or like Bubba Ray Dudley did, talking about how technical wrestling is boring. It makes me think a little less of the person because it's like you're going to dog on something that brought you to the dance. Technical wrestling. If technical wrestling had not existed, your ass would have never been in the fucking ring, Bubba Ray Dudley. You ungrateful bitch. Fuck. If technical wrestling had never existed, Bubba Ray Dudley wouldn't have a fucking job. People like Ric Flair, uh, Kurt Angle, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko have put on better matches than Ray Dudley ever fucking has. I don't know why he thinks technical wrestling is boring. It's not to me because it's an actual sport before all this hardcore bullshit came around. I like the Attitude Era. I loved it. I grew up in the Attitude Era. Stone Cold Steve Austin, got Bradshaw and Farouk as the APA. You got the Undertaker. You got Kane, The Rock, Triple H. It was the Attitude Era was fucking awesome. I love the Attitude Era, but when you have somebody with so much attitude that it gives them an ego to just diss professional wrestling, what gives you the mindset to dog on technical wrestling? Just because you're a prick or a know-it-all or just a fat ass that would never amount to shit if you were in an actual wrestling match? That sounds more like an insecure little bitch to me than anything. Well, technical wrestling is boring. Yeah, well, that's because your fat ass couldn't hack it in an actual wrestling match if you even were in one. That's fucking bullshit. That's what I wanted to say today. Technical wrestling being around wouldn't put any butts in any fucking seats if it hadn't been for technical wrestling. If it hadn't been for technical wrestling, guys like Bubba Ray Dudley, and Jeff Hardy, and Matt Hardy, and Edge, Christian, and Raven, and the Sandman, and Sabu, and Rob Van Dam, Tommy Dreamer, none of those motherfuckers would ever have been around if it hadn't been for technical wrestling in the first fucking place. Bubba Ray Dudley can take his hardcore attitude and shove it up his ass. Hadn't been for technical wrestling, none of us would be wrestling fans. Point. Point. I'm done talking about that. I think that anybody that thinks technical wrestling is boring is not a true wrestling fan. They're just a mark. Oh, that's what Bubba Ray Dudley's real name is. So you're just a mark. Just a mark. So I think I'm going to call it quits on this little episode, and we'll work on something new for the next one. I wanted to rant for a little bit on Bubba Ray Dudley because I think that's just a bullshit way to look at technical wrestling. Just because it doesn't entertain you doesn't mean it doesn't entertain everybody else. Hulk Hogan wasn't a technical wrestler, but he had great matches. Andre the Giant certainly wasn't a fucking technical wrestler, but I always found Andre the Giant boring. Never liked Andre the Giant. Didn't do anything for me. He had all that appeal because he was such a big guy. He was a giant, but he wasn't a technical wrestler. So I think in the next episode, we'll talk about the big guys of professional wrestling and who you think some of the great big guys were in professional wrestling. So if you're watching, thank you. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. And I will see you on the flip side.